Hey, hello guys. Hope you all doing okay. Right, yeah. So as per usual, a little bit more work on Mona tonight. Primarily, we'll be working on what's the word I'm looking for right now? We'll be working on Grim. We may do a little bit of texturing, depends on what you guys kind of want to see or do. But yeah, I'm kind of happy to be flexible on that. But in terms of work, like progress from the streams, so at the end of yesterday's stream, we had this render. With a little bit of color variation and all the head groom stuff added in. After stream, I was realizing how much the size of the buns bothered me, just because you couldn't see the bottom. It felt like one long haircut. So I've added, I've reduced the size of them, but there's still quite a lot of issues with the groom. So we need to soften up all this stuff because it's kind of wild, and we also need to look into like the stray clumps and stuff that we need. Whether or not we do that as a separate groom or not is undecided, but yeah, a little bit of work to do, nothing too major. Probably fix up the peach fuzz. We've still got all this stuff standing up, and I'm not too happy with the ear ends, but yeah, we'll get there with time. But anyway, yeah, so we could probably set up some more primvars as well, get some more controls in our shader for the hair, add things like the UVs to the hairs and stuff like that. But for now, I think we will just get the head hair in order, probably work on the sides first, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So I'm going to get Pure F up while I wait. So let's go to load recent. Cool. So we do need to find, like this ref, like the sides don't come down low enough, so we kind of need to ignore that a bit. But we do need to find some ref for like the sideburns and stuff. So, because we've got these over here, but these are more for the buns themselves, which is still going to be helpful. Kind of getting all that chaos in there is going to be quite a lot of fun once we start doing advanced guide work. And I quite like these crazy strays, but these are more buns than pigtails, which I didn't know until yesterday that that's what they actually are. So I'm going to quickly do some Googling. Let's do female pigtails. Okay. And I'm going to add the word chopped. That's not the word what I'm looking for, apparently. Pigtails, short. And I'll put it on screen. Okay. So we need to do a little bit of ref hunting. Is there a name for like short pigtails that I'm not aware of? We also need to find hair that's kind of swept back, slightly messy. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for like the ear area right now. Let's see. Ah yes, female. Okay, let's search medium length hair. I really like this hair structure. Okay, so it isn't the hairstyle, but I'm going to add that because I really like the way that looks. So let's just get that over here. Nice and high res too. That's always a win. This one too, but it's a little bit too dark to really see. So we'll ignore that one for now. This hair is really nice as well. Let's kill that. Let's see. Gonna add the word swept. Okay. So these actually considered medium length, because these to me feel long. Let's add behind ear. Google's getting increasingly precise. Damn it. Let's increase the resolution of this. Okay. I need this, but in higher resolution. And at a better angle too. Let's go on to see more. Not too helpful, but the most helpful we got so far. And good God, that's high res too. PureF is such a magic tool. Let's see what else we can find. Gonna add the word side. Maybe I should put profile, medium life. Profile. Okay. I wish I knew the names of the different haircuts. Yeah, profile didn't do much for me there. Oh, this is kind of helpful. Okay. So one of the things we're going to have to contend with is that these aren't really the haircut that we have. So, I mean, not even close to the haircut that we have. So we can only really use it as like a textual reference. Like, see how things fall kind of thing. Okay. This is kind of cool. See, I'm wondering, should we have hair that's like really dropping down quite a lot as well? Okay, we'll use that as our ref for now. So we need to like loosen this up a fair bit. So let's get started. So let's go into fur head hair. So we're not going to do the loose stuff yet, but let's call this $1 mask. Okay, copy paste this. Density. And multiply by density. It's going to break, but that's fine. So let's go. Phone's vibrating. Cool. So let's go into the paint tool. So let's go into our tool settings. Going to flood with 0.5. Flood paint, which it already is. Good, good, good. Then we'll need to paint down all this stuff, but for now we'll just save that. So it's got some kind of data. Cool. So that would be half the amount of hair, which the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to think that maybe I've got too much hair right now. How many hairs is this? 82,000. Wait, did we have like way too much hair before? Oh, we probably did. Alright, sweet. So that will kind of resolve itself a little bit then. Still need to paint down the density though. So, mainly just to fade the hairline so we can use some textured brushes to do this. Let's go with... Fleece is normally quite a good one. Foliage looks good though. So, use foliage, stroke, reflection, stylus pressure. Okay. And I'm going to have to... no, don't actually. We'll just break it up a little bit. So paint into black. Okay. Save that. Save Pt.36. Okay. I also kind of want to get this glittery effect, which I'm not sure how we'll do that yet. I've got a few ways I can do it. This would be fun to make. These clump ends are kind of helpful for me to see as well. But let's continue to look. So strays are a little bit shit as well. We're missing all this like crazy stuff up here, right? So let's go into our modifiers. Is this the one with the strays? It is. Okay. It's better. Need to get a little bit more here too. I'll lower the frequency of that noise a fair bit, which is here. Let's go 4. I'm wondering if I need to go even lower on the frequency. I feel like I might do actually. Okay, a little bit lower in the intensity as well. Let's take that down to 14. Take you down to 7, I guess. I'll take you down to 6, maybe 5. Okay, we got a bit more going on now. Now let's increase that. It might be a bit much now, but in fact it's stepping up a bit too quickly, isn't it? Let's just go something like that. Okay. That feels a bit more natural. Let's turn on anti-aliasing for a moment. Yeah, it feels much better. I feel like I need to rand this a little bit. Let's do rand 2 to 5. So I'll bias it a little bit towards that 6 value we had earlier. There we go, that feels better. Actually got some variation now. Some really crazy hairs in there, but I kind of like that, so we'll keep it. Okay, and then clumping wise, let's check if it's coming from clumping. It is, okay. Okay, that's coming from the actual guides. So we need to track down where that's coming from exactly. Let's hide the front. Here. Or just below there. Let's get some guide work going. Yeah, looks like it's coming from there. So let's push our guide out a little bit more. Let's get there. Huh, maybe not. We're still doing stuff we don't want it to do, so let's get some stuff in there. Okay. Turn off lock length. Okay, yeah, we need more guides in this area. Guide in there. Oh. Really looking forward to like coming back to this area and realizing how badly I'm doing the guides right now. So these aren't very clean at all. But for now they might be all I need. Again, before we get into that like refinement pass where we really add a ton of guides. Okay. Let's roll these guys out a little bit too. It's a big open area right there. Let's pull him forward towards this guide. And it curls up, so let's do the same. Have it kind of swing up and out a little bit. Okay. Let's group another guide with those. There's another guide right there. You're struggling. Okay. Mirror those over. I need to hide my scene. Or actually do some real lighting. Yeah, let me get the head hair front in there. Okay, let's create some lights. Create light, area light. Yeah, the lighting isn't actually consistent, is it? Okay, let me switch to the hair tube shader. Let's grab any of these. Go into the hyper shade. Okay. Hair tube. still view dependent too. Oh, it's a lot more performant, so I think we'll stick with this anyway. Let's just say it's roughly the colour we want. A bit nicer. I don't mean to do that. Yeah, a bit too noisy for my liking. Let's just settle this. Okay. Back into XGen. I don't know, do I prefer this or do I prefer the previous one? I find this one easier to look at. We just need a little bit more tweaking on it. There we go. Cool. So, I'm wondering what the density change on its own would have done. I just need to load these in at some point. There's something missing, it's not the clumps. I mean, it needs refinement in general, but like there's something else about it that's kind of off. That was weird. You used to shade a bit more correctly when you made those changes. But yeah, anyway, let's do a super quick render to see how different this looks. Like that side is going to be a lot softer now. So we'll do the whole thing. So we're on scene what, 12? Yep, 12. I need to export patches for batch render because I haven't done that. Okay. File, export patches for batch render. Cool. So then into Katana we go. And I might just throw in the stray clump scream because I already know I'm going to be doing it. So we can kind of just throw it in there, start blocking stuff out. So the stray clump scream is one of two technically detailing grooms that I like to do. It's basically where I make a groom specifically for me to add individual clumps. So I'll place a guide and have a clump around that guide. And I use that to place exact shapes. Because X-Chain Core you can't sculpt hair. Which, to be fair, I don't really feel like you need to be able to. I find sculpting hair is a little bit destructive. But if you want specific clumps, then you need to hand place them. The other detailing groom that I like to do is the strays groom, where I'll just go in and like individually place stray hairs. I usually do that when I want a very specific like swirly shape or something, and it's the very last groom that I do in a project. Hey Jonah, at the moment the girl looks amazing with the hair. Thanks, man. But yeah, so like, might do that stray clump groom now, just to kind of show you guys what I mean. So let's select the scalp. There we go. Going to Xgen. Description. Create description. Fur, head, hair, stray clumps. 01. Description. And this is where the names start to get very long. So this is normally the longest name of a groom I'll do. But yeah, we'll place in shape guides. Cool. And then all we have to do is get the hair template up. I'm just going to place guides that allow me to line up with these guys. I'll do it on the sides here, I'll do it over there. Now we may enable the hairs to kind of move a bit more freely, so it's not just a clump, like maybe there'll be some strays and stuff. And you'll find that when you add this groom, it just pops. Like, it looks so much better. We need to actually start a render, don't we? Oh yeah, I haven't. Okay, that's why. Let's see how the density looks. But yeah, so we'll go in, add a guide, and for this one we'll put it about there. Okay, and I'm gonna disable a bunch of these just to get the performance that we need. Okay, we'll line it up with that one. So the main thing is that this, so let's just normalize that for a moment. There we go. Don't know why I struggle with that so much. I need to rebuild it too. Let's go 12. But yeah, so the key thing with these grooms is that they line up with the flow of the hair around them, because otherwise they feel really out of place. And this is something that, again, like, you don't need to do in most grooms, but I find that it just adds that extra little pizzazz, I guess. So let's do that. And we need to make sure it's actually following, so let's... So something like that will do. We need to make sure it's not fighting the grain too much, so we do that too. Okay. So that'll work for the most part. And I like the shape. Let's get another guide in there. We want this one down here, so I'm just going to, let's go into, alright, I'll enable that thing from before. So let's get another guide in there. I might even move this back a little bit. But for now, let's get another guide there. Oh, wait, yeah, delete you. Okay, go into stray clumps. Okay. Let's get a guide there. Just going to copy paste this guide shape. Okay. Then we'll just move that to where we need it. Which for now we're going to use this one, I think. So let's just do that. I might have it lean more forward than I sculpted it, but okay, ready to make this a more natural shape now. So let's curl it out. So it's kind of like going whoop. Yeah, let's do something more like that. So not following the exact shape of our sculpt, but that's fine. We don't need to. Okay. Then we add another guide, which will be for that guy right there. We will add more in the later stages, like some that aren't sculpted, for example, but let's just do something like that. Primitives, let's normalize it. Yeah, a little bit off. There we go. We're going to rebuild that guide to a little bit higher. Let's go 18. Cool. And that just gives us a little bit more control over that arch there. Have it curl up a bit more. Cool. We're missing this guide up here, so he can come from a bit further back, I think. Let's go from like there. Come on. Okay, let's normalize. We'll just ballpoint, or ballpark even. Okay, we build him. Let's go 12. million miles away from where I wanted it, actually. Works for me. 2 more, and then we'll paint some quick masks. And we'll at some point we'll add these as well. Although this area I'm kind of tempted to do as its own grim. Okay. Normalize you. Hello, you're a bit broken. Oh. Okay, one more, put him right about there. Normalize. Okay. So if we hide the hair template, you just go in and paint a mask for this. So this mask needs to be quite high detail. But let's just go in, create map. Okay, we're going to set this to like 40. Default to black because we're only going to paint dots. Okay. So we're going to set you to solid brush. Turn off reflection. And then all we're going to do is just do quick little dots. In fact, we might need to go higher res. Let's go 2046 or 2048 even. Okay. I didn't even do that much work between these. We're losing a bit too much stuff over the year. We need to come closer to it. This doesn't look as solid now, which is good. Getting a bit more interested in... The silhouette's kind of flattened out, actually. Might need to do some work. Actually, did I... Let me go into the head hair for a moment. Oh, they're both enabled. For now they're the same size, but we'll save that. Don't know why that keeps happening. Let's go 100. There we go. Set you to 32. Okay. 0, 1. Was flat. Yeah, let's go into Hypershade. File, no, edit, delete unused. Okay, let's go into okay, let's go to clumping. We're just going to enable guide. Add a noise. Feeling a bit flat right now, but I think we'll be okay. let's keep that over there. So it will look a little bit weak. That's the wrong thing. It will look a little bit weak because it's so basic. Oh, we need to add that attribute as well. Let's go to preview output. Hair underscore P, and it's U as a color input. Okay, there we go. So this, in theory, should have the stray clumps at the front now. Assuming I update my scenes to version 12, which I think I did. Yeah, I did. I was wondering, should I add percentage affected to the clumping? One of the spots we painted happened to have landed exactly on the noise, so we're getting like a really bright section. These are feeling a bit symmetrical, aren't they? But it does quite a lot. Yeah, I need to figure out all this stuff. It's just so far from the air. Yeah, it is really far from the air. Why is... So I need to pull this out. That's what's causing it. This hair right here. Why can't I select anything? Yeah, it works. I'm going to restart Maya because it looks like I can't select anything. Yeah, it's not creating anything. Let me try resetting tool. Okay. Kill that. Yes. Restart Maya. And then we need to work in this area. The hairline as well also needs a little bit of wobble. Too straight right now. Having some loose hairs will help. Might also spend a little bit of time just getting this kind of squareness to the clumps for the pigtails. Just currently our pigtails are a little bit... where is it? Right, just do this. There we go. Yeah, pigtails, I mean, it's not a million miles away. I think we just got too much cut. Like, it needs less length variation. And I need to figure out the glitter. Yeah, it's funny how much that adds. That bit's working a lot better. Just need to resolve this and then see. Maybe I should just have this pull in less quickly, so it like goes about there rather than up there. Oh yeah, we'll reduce the cut while we're here too. So let's go into modifiers, cut. There we go. And I'm going to add another noise. And this one's going to be to kind of simulate like a split ends type thing. So we'll do... maybe a little bit strong. Ooh, no. Okay. Go. Cool. And go into that comping 2, I think it's that one. Yeah, it's this one. I'm just going to give this a little bit of squareness, which we can do by just lowering this like 0.7 or something. A little bit too much. Let's go 0.8, well, 0.85 maybe. Yeah, once we add the noise on top of that, it gets a little bit more square. Cool, so we got that. Cool, and then let's go into head hair. So what we need is to get these guys, which is still not letting me select. There we go. Any more in that area? Nope. They're all just tucked in too far. So, yeah, I just need to pull these out. Okay. Let's mirror those. While I'm at it, I'm just going to replace the material on these guys. There we go. Yeah, that really helps a lot. It's funny also how that extra little bit of shadow adds like an extra feeling of depth around her. I need to fix up the eye at some point too. Let's add something to this area. It's really strange. Yeah, this is gonna bother the fuck out of me. So let's see. This needs to follow there a bit more. So what we'll do is we will get head hair front visible. Cool. And then play about with these. So let's work on this one. Show the worst offender. Turn off lock length, because we had it on a moment ago, but I think for this area I really don't want it. Okay. So that should sit in a bit more. And this guy, almost debating bringing him out more. Like, so he really stands out, doesn't try to blend in at all. Something like that. Maybe even comes over this way a bit, lies onto the other side, and then drops over. Might work a little bit better. We definitely need to pull him back a bit though. Let's do something like that. That feels more natural to me. It's still not natural. It's too symmetrical. Oh yeah, that's really symmetrical actually. Look at that. Let's use this side. Make it completely curl around. And this guy will curl it out a lot more. I'll break up that symmetry feeling. Although now it feels symmetrical because it's mirrored. Okay, so this clump. Let's pull you up a little bit. sit close to the hair. And then you. Naturally, we're going a lot further than originally in the sculpt. But that might just be what we need. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Hopefully this looks okay. This bit feels more organic so far. I actually was doing that though, wasn't it? Yeah, so our issue wasn't these hairs not tucking in enough, it's these hairs dropping down too much. And we're missing a bit of volume here, which we can add quite easily, to be fair. Cool, let's spend a bit of time on that one. I'll leave this rendering for a moment, just so we can see how it cleans. This might be a bit much. So, let's get back into head hair. Okay, so we're going to need a few guides from here. Maybe the lowest ones. To just come down. Feels better. Still a little bit floaty. Where was that other bit that we saw a moment ago? Right there. Cool. So let's get the hair template visible. Oh yeah, there it is. Hey Thomas. How you doing, man? Feels better. We're gonna need a bit more chaos at the roots for this area to work. The stray clump scream as well will do a lot for areas like this one. I feel like we need to start breaking up that parting line as well. It's a bit too clean. Okay, that's looking good. Again, it needs a lot of work, but looking forward to getting these in and shading them. That'll be fun. Yeah, so let's start a new render with this guy. while I wait for this, I'm just gonna go grab a glass of water. I'm back. I heard many people say Action Interactive is not suitable if you want to render with animation. Is that true? Still the case? I haven't had time to try it. It looks awesome, by the way. Thank you. So I haven't used Action Interactive in a professional environment, and I've never used it with animation. So honestly, not a clue. I don't like Action Interactive though. I find the way it functions, like, it's good for stills. Like, it's really good for stills because of the whole like being able to sculpt thing. But I mean, I don't like sculpting hairs, but it's still like a pro, whether I like it or not. But my understanding of it is that because of the fact you can sculpt it, it has to store like quite a lot of data to like keep the hair shape. And so when you start animating on top of that, it gets really, really heavy. That's a statement from complete ignorance, so do not take my word for it. That's just like what I remember hearing a while ago. By a while ago, I mean like 2018. So it's been a while, but that's kind of what I've heard a few times. Okay, there we go. That feels better. Missing a bit of volume here, but that's okay. And we need to really kind of create some chaos here now. Oh yeah, I need to render the bottom, don't I? Okay, so let's do this. And then go into catalog and drag. There we go. Give this a moment to do its thing. I want to see what the bottom of the hairs are looking like. Just go on mute for a sec, we'll have a drink. And I'm back. There we go. Yeah, I quite like that clump coming in and breaking things up a bit. Versus that, which looks kind of strange. I feel like the eyelashes aren't quite working for me yet. But I don't know what it is about them. Like, maybe it's just too regular. Yeah, we need more spinning ones. Bend off to the side. But do I want to do that now is a better question. I also need to get colour onto these caruncula. Start a stream. feels healthier to me. I'm looking forward to doing clothing grooms as well. That'll be a lot of fun. But we still need to actually finish the clothing before I can do all that shit. Look at him. Oh yeah, the zips as well. Oh god. Yeah, this zip area is going to be a bit painful too. I need to do like a really small seam line in textures, like really thin, just to make it feel like the zip has its own piece of fabric. Because I don't want to model it in. I just need to do another pass of the zip model, because it's a little bit buckled in a few areas. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so do we want to do that kind of glitter effect? Let's spend some time trying to figure it out. I think we do. So I'm going to be completely operating in the dark here, by the way. So let's just pick a very tiny section and do that render. And then go into our hair material. So go into groom mets. So do we have a normals? We don't. Advanced? Nope. So we're going to have to do it in our spec, aren't we? We can do it in the IOR. What's the default IOR? Oh, it's in spec. IOR 1.52. Okay, so layer RGBA. Oh, the layer float will work fine for this. Base IOR. And then this is 1.52. Cool. So then we're going to set this as our background as well, so we can keep returning to it. I'm going to just quickly do this for all of them. Okay, so we've got layer float, which is fine. And then IWR for the second channel, I'm just going to set that to sparkles. Okay, I'm going to set this to like 10 or some shit. And put this here. I just want to see what the spec looks like. Okay, I'm going to let this go super clean. Okay, I think that's clean enough. Let's do that. So then let's just render back the buckets. I hate the buckets so much. We're actually already have it super clean. Let's yeah, okay, that's fine. Keep that as is. What we'll need is a cells noise. We're just going to set this to cell 1. Yeah, okay, so that's super bright, which is what we want to see. So for now, I'm just going to plug that directly into the mix and set this to like, I don't know, 5 by 5 by 5. So to get this to really work, we will have to offset it per hair. I think we can go, let's go smaller. Let's go 12 by, I don't know why 12, but let's just do 12 by 12 by 12. And then yeah, each hair we're going to need to, what's the word? Each hair will have to add a random value, which is really easy to do, luckily. Okay, while it's going, let's start getting our rand value set up. Preview output. I'm going to say, yeah, let's set this to color. Hair rand ID. Create that. Then we're going to do a color, which is rand 0, 1, 1. Rand 0, 1, 2. And rand 0, 1, 3. There we go. Apply that. Accept. So hair rand ID, and we'll copy paste this across them. First off, we'll just get it placed in them. That's not what we want. Why is it? Buns. Okay. Buns. Okay. That's the one we've already got it in. Good, good, good. Okay, there we go. So we got that. I need to go way smaller. Let's go 50 by 50 by 50. And then while we're at it, we're going to go grab one of these. What's the name of this guy? XGen data hair underscore P. Okay, then hair rand ID. Hair rand ID. Okay, and then we're just going to separate out one of the channels, plug it into, where's offset? Plug that into offset. In fact, let's make sure that's working first. So that was set to 12 by 12 by 12. So what we should see is these noises are roughly the same, but it's random on each hair. Then we need to find like a good IOR, something that's not too strong. Okay, so in theory, there we go. We need to increase that offset a fair bit, I think. Yeah, let's increase the offset. So it's going to do a multiply. So it's like 100. Okay, then out R. Alt. Rand ID set. Make sure that's working. And then we just need to remap the output of this guy. I think that's connected okay now. And then we just set the size of it until it's like actually glittery rather than noisy. Yeah, it's way more chaotic now. Okay, so let's go smaller. Let's go 40 by 40 by 40. So I don't think this would be stable. I feel like we need to set this to pref and like get a position of each hair in bind pose. A position of each hair in bind pose even. But that said, I also don't need it to be stable in animation because we're not doing any animation. And I guess a glitter effect you can kind of get away with it not being stable in anim. Depends on how stable you need it. Okay. That's looking appropriately noisy. Yeah, there we go. That's the start of a glitter effect. So now, what we need to do is just gamma the hell out of this. So that it's always there, but incredibly, incredibly weak in most places. So gamma is just bias. Let's say 0.125. Hit that. Might even have to go lower. Depends on how dense we want the glitter effect to be. And then we just step down the IOR until it's where we want it. I'd probably say it's about 3, something like Chrome. I need to go lower. Okay, let's go way lower. Let's go. Let's go 6. 0. Let's do 0.4. There we go. And then the IOR, like reducing that, just decreases the brightness. It doesn't actually change the how visible the flakes are per se. It just changes the brightness difference from no flake to flake. Part of me wants to like tint the glitter. There we go. Without, with. So now we can kind of reduce the density rather than the value range. And there we go. Let's go even lower, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to increase this to like 0.4, and this will just make it way more sparse. And then we'll set the brightness of it, which again is just a case of changing the IR itself. Now let's make it feel a little bit more rich than if we didn't add all this stuff. Now the question is whether or not I want to tint it. Which I do kind of want to do, I'm not gonna lie. What tint controls do we have in Arnold? Tint. Oh, we do have all of them. Nice. There we go. Get that sparkle in there. When it's white, it looks kind of like dandruff. Okay, so let's reduce the IOR itself. So LYR hair IOR. There we go. And set this to like 3.2 or something. And if we like the brightness of it, we'll just quickly go in and tint it. Range, so I'm just gonna range hair glitter mask. See how this looks. we go. Just adds a little bit of noise. It's way nicer to look at as a result. So I'm going to tint it as well. So what we need then is to do a layer RGBA, and it's going to do LYR primary spec tint. Set you to 1, which is no tint. Then add the second layer. This one is glitter. And we're just going to set this to let's make it a little bit pink. Set the value to 1. And then we're just going to plug this in right there. Set you to over top. There we go. Specular tint. Just going to increase that IOR slightly, just so we can see it a bit more. So when I tint it, it's going to darken it down again a little bit. And we'll see if we like it. If we don't like it, we'll just remove it. It's no big deal, really. That gives us a little something, doesn't it? Again, it just adds a little bit of richness. It's a very small effect. I really like adding it. Although it can look like fireflies if you're not careful. Now the last thing to do would be to have this affect the glossiness as well, but I'm not going to do that. It's already complex enough, really. Again, without tint, with tint, without tint, with tint. Spec direct. I need to do a spec gain map at some point. And also for this area. Yeah, look at it. Brightens things up a little bit. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours, okay. Honestly, I think that might be the stream done for today. Let's put that there. I'm wondering if that glitter needs to be a bit stronger. But yeah, I might have gone too soft. Let's increase that a little bit. Let's go to 7 or something. Again, we're not doing a physical effect with this, so. Let's see how that looks. We may have also added a bit too much bias. Wow, the gamma on my other monitor is really bad. We may have added a little bit too much bias, which, come to think of it, doesn't do that as well. Okay, catalog. Alt save my scene while I do this. Version 8. While I wait for this, does anyone have any questions? Anything I want to ask about? Because it has been a relatively short stream, but like I'm aware that I streamed for quite a bit yesterday, and it is Sunday night, so I kind of want to chill. I spent this morning doing fucking taxes, like probably play some video games or something for a bit. But if there's anything anyone wants to ask or see, I'm more than happy to kind of divert while we wait for a render to clean up. I'll give you guys like, I don't know, 10 minutes. Hey Mac, how convenient is it to iterate with Action and Katana? How long have you been watching the stream for? Because I have been doing that on the stream. It's extremely easy. Once you set it up, you just save your scene and Katana will pick it up. Like, that's all you have to do. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit more convenient than Yeti was in terms of iteration. Just because Yeti, you have to like re-export stuff. Whereas Katana... whereas XGen, you just hit the save button and it will update the .xgen file, and that's what Katana's reading. It's a lot brighter now, so we'll see how it looks. Granted, it will dim down as we sample. Just trying to, yeah. So basically, the process with Katana is you have a well, with Arnold specifically, you have a Arnold XGen node, which just searches for a .xgen file. That file gets updated anytime you save your Maya scene. So basically, this will what's the word? This will update all time, and because it's built as you render, it will always update the actual render itself. It doesn't get cached, as far as I can tell. So it just makes it extremely, extremely flexible. Hi Mike, what are the advantages of doing LitDev in Katana and not Maya? So Katana is a node-based software where you set up your scene and you do what are called recipes. Recipes are just basically your entire node graph. So the reason that I like working in Katana is, and the reason I continue to work in Katana, despite having Maya, is basically the organizational side of it, and the fact that I can update my model, with a lot of different things, and as long as the naming is the same, my shaders automatically apply. It's extremely quick to kind of iterate because of that. Like, I can change things back and forth and not having to remember which shaders applied where and that sort of stuff. In terms of like actual just general usage, It is quite memory efficient. I find that I'm able to make changes quite quick. It's never getting stuck in a cache like with Maya sometimes, especially with XGen. While I'm rendering, things will get stuck in the cache and it doesn't change when I tell it to. That may be a bug on my side, I'm not entirely sure. And other than that, in terms of pros and cons, with Katana, your node graph is like fixed, so I can move things around and they will stay in those positions. Whereas Maya, if you update your hypershade, it basically lays out the nodes every single time. You can save layouts, but it's a little bit cumbersome. It's not like just default. And having all these shader groups kind of visible at the side is super kind of quick just to make connections. You can share all the nodes that you want to have the same textures just by having a single network create and all that sort of stuff. There's also a system called child materials, which I'm not currently using in this project, but I will be using by the end of it, where basically Katana can take a material, duplicate it, give it a new name, and change any attribute, and then you can apply that material separately. So let's say I've got a bunch of jars or something, right? So let's say we were doing our actual scene, which we will be doing eventually. Let's see. So let's say I'm doing these jars, and I want 1 in 5 of them to be damaged, but I still want them to kind of stay in sync. So let's say I change the color. Like if I have a non-damaged shader and a damaged shader, or like a dusty shader or whatever, I'd have to update the color in this one, then go to this material, update the color in that one as well. Or obviously I can set things up in the hypershade, I guess, but again, the hypershade is a little bit flawed. But with child materials, what I could do is create this material, which is like the non-dusty version. Create a child material from that and just call it like, packet dusty. And then in that child material, just tell it to add this extra dust layer. As long as the names of the nodes in this material do not change, this one will continue to stay live. So I can update the color in this and it will automatically get copied over to here. I can add different amounts of variation to this, and again, it will all apply, assuming I'm not overriding it, which is really nice. Planning to try RenderMan with Katana and XGen has. Wanted to know if it's sufficient as like Arnold. I don't know, to be honest. I've used Katana and RenderMan, and it was a really pleasant kind of experience. But I've never used XGen with. I've never used XGen with it, like with RenderMan and Katana. There is documentation on how to set it up though, because I remember like looking for it like when I was weighing up options for this project. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the comparison would be between them because I've just never used it. Wondering how much of this is noise and how much of it is the shader. Are there any other questions relating to Katana and Arnold or different workflows or anything? Because I'm happy to stay in chat for a little while. I'm just kind of burnt on working right now, but I'm happy to talk through stuff. Oh, it's already saved. I'm going to alt save as well. There we go. Go back up the scene now. Let's close this. Yeah, one of the other things that I quite like with LookDev and Katana is because of the way the material designs work. You can set it up in quite a easy way, basically using the Grim specifically. I have my material design set up, so I need to break these into their own nodes, but basically anything that I've color-coded green in the left here is a Grim. So we've got hair proxies, which is just the geometry. So this guy, that's the hair proxy. But yeah, so I can give it the path to the hair proxy, which is just this, assign a material. Then in the next node, just tell it to find anything in the XGen folder and put this little star here. That little star basically says wildcard. So anything that's found within root, world, geo, XGen, anything within that group is assigned to this material. So this material is head hair. Now, the nice thing with that is I can override that after, but this means that whenever I create a groom, it's automatically given a material. And then if I want a specific material, unlike the tail, I can just go to tail hair, and in this cell, to say, hey, XGen, look for anything called fur tail, and assign this different material. And because these are happening after that first one, it basically means that I can create a groom and I don't have to update anything in here. It's automatically set up to receive this material, and then I can override it however I want. And that works like top to bottom in this node. So at the very beginning, anytime I create any geometry, which would include groom, it will receive this material that I've set up. I can set it up so that it's set to wireframe, so I could drag this to the very end of the entire graph, and then enable this, and everything will receive a well, this isn't actually set up right now, but anything in the scene will receive a wireframe material. Like, it's super flexible. I really enjoy working with it. Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting a while for this to get really clean, so we'll hang out for a little bit longer. I'll keep my eye open just in case you guys have any questions for it. Is there anything else you guys would like to ask? Why do clothes not have any thickness in Maya, but in Katana they do? Because the geometry that I have in Maya isn't the same geometry I'm loading in. I've got a scene specifically to do my grooms in. So that's this guy. But if I was to go to my actual modeling scene, let me just, I've already saved this a few times, but if I go into my modeling scene, we can just go into here, Maya, scenes. Basically, all Katana's doing is loading in a geometry at the start. So I've got the importomatic, and I'm loading in, I need to rename this, but I'm loading in the Charmona underscore group Alembic, which I've just saved to modeling publish. And that specific Alembic is literally just this scene exported as an Alembic file. So when this reopens, this is the modeling file. So all I'm doing is selecting the Charmona group, going to cache, Alembic, export selection to Alembic. Then I'm going to my modeling folder, publish, and I'm just saving over this. And this is what Katana picks up. Something you can do if you wanted to is to version control it, just add numbers to the end of the name. And then anytime you want to revert to an older model in Katana, you just change the path it's linking to, so you just add like 01 or something at the end. But I'm not version controlling this because it's just a publish. Like, I've got scene files I can revert to if I need to. But yeah, so this is the actual geometry that Katana's receiving. And because the UVs are the same, everything still works across the different scenes. But yeah, so this scene doesn't contain my scalps or anything for the groom. It's just the model. The actual scalps and stuff are in my groom scene, and again, Katana's loading them as their own thing. I'm just importing Alembic files here, which is grabbing the .alembic, and then I'm setting them to be invisible so that they never render, but they are still in the scene. Then just getting the action and applying that to it, and then merging the action in. So the action, actually, I can like delete the entire character. The action will still render because it's like its own separate section. So I could just connect this to there, and it will skip everything above it if I just wanted to render the groom on its own for whatever reason. But yeah, so that's the it's one of the things that, again, I really like working in Katana. And to be fair, like, this applies to any node-based working tool, so like you'd be able to do the same kind of setup in something like Houdini, where you're loading in geometry at different stages. But Katana is just really pleasant to work with. That's what I do. But yeah, let's see, how's that render doing? It's crazy to me how much just adding a little bit of glint does. But yeah, next stream I'm going to work on all this stuff. I also need to fix the intersection on here. I'm using dismounts from 3D Scan Store. I find the scale of the model to be smaller. Yeah, I'm using their displacement. The model is really small, for sure. But at the same time, like, it's not a 32-bit displacement, so it doesn't really matter, right? You set the scale of your disp on your model. But yes, I am using 3D Scan Store displacement, which is why the skin details are so crisp. No, so your Maya scale is not screwed. The models from 3D Scan Store are just really small. I think they're modeled to decimeters, because everything's about 10 times smaller than it should be, if you're in a centimeter scene. Wondering if I don't have the stuff in the scene. But yeah, for me, like, the 3D Scan Store meshes are about like this big. Oh yeah, still need to fix the hands. Maybe in the next stream we'll work on the hands. These poor things. Very rough. Very rough. So that knuckle's so strange. I'm looking forward to adding like stitches and stuff to this. I need to figure out as well with the leggings, like, what am I going to add to this? Because the geometry is just a bit too simple for my taste. Like, we have a fair bit of stuff going on, but nothing too major. I need to sew these UVs as well. Oh, hello. Oh no. Okay. We have engons. So let's do target world. Show the other corners. Kind of happens at random, it's really weird. Let's show the other side. What's happened to you? They flipped. Why did they flip? There we go. Yeah, this area here is a little bit flat right now. Let's check any areas that are broken here. Alright, let's have a good. It's gonna be fun to look over this stuff as well. Oh, sorry, I just missed a few messages. So you're saying displacement maps will work at any scale? Yes, because they're not 32-bit. So all you need to do is go into your skin material. Let me just find it. So we got my Z-disp, which is my ZBrush displacement. This is 32-bit, and I've got disp head, which is baked from my 3D scan store mesh, and so I've just got that set to 0.18 intensity. It's set to plus, so this is intensity, not mix. But yeah, it's just set to 0.18, and I found that worked quite well for this scene. For the scale of this character, which is modeled to real scale. I can't remember how tall she is actually. I think she's like 150 centimeters or something like that. Let's go cube. Let's read it to height. Let's go 150. She might even be smaller. Oh, she's not far off. Yeah, she's like 160, 155. Yeah, 155. $177.5. My voice completely went then, Jesus. Yeah, so she's about, 155 centimeters tall, if you exclude the horns. Yeah, there's our progress in this stream. Which was, what, 2 hours work? I've been streaming for 2 hours 30 now, but I have been just kind of chilling while this renders. But yeah, if there's any more questions, I'm happy to answer, but I think that's kind of it. I'm just going to let this get super clean off stream. And then, yeah, next stream will either be tomorrow or late Tuesday, or worst case scenario, Thursday. Wednesday I'm definitely not streaming, I know that for a fact. But I may be able to stream tomorrow or Tuesday night. But yeah, if there's any requests, any things you guys want me to go through, just put it in Discord. Like, I'm happy for you guys to ask for like what you want to see. Because like this character is still so early on in its development, where there's just a ton of stuff left to do. I can kind of do whatever I want. So if you guys want to see like how to approach seam lines, or how I would approach seam lines, not necessarily the best way to, then feel free to request. I also need to do some concept art and figure out what the hell these horns are. Currently they're just flesh, but it looks kind of strange. Granted, they've got no maps other than the color on them. They're still extremely basic. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm making some decent progress. Cool. Well, I'm guessing that's it, because no one's replied in the comments. So if you guys do have any other questions after I end the stream, just put it in Discord. There's a link to Discord in the description of the video. And yeah, I'll potentially see you tomorrow. If not, see you Tuesday. If not, see you Thursday. But yeah, have a great night, guys. Wish you all the best. And yeah, see you soon.